All right, here we are. I'm in the process of putting together a battery pack of lithium iron phosphate. This is a 16S system, meaning that I will have 16 batteries in series to make for about what we call a 48-volt system. But actually, when the system is fully charged, we have about 56 volts, and that's how it works. Now, we need a BMS. The BMS will ensure that all batteries are will stay the same either when you are charging or discharging. So the story is that this BMS will have this cable here, 16 cables, to ensure that all the positive side of each battery is checked. And internally, there's where the magic happens, and it maintains the battery's balance, you know, so that to ensure that the voltage stay where you want it. Like for example, this battery, each individual cell is about when charged about 3.5, maximum 3.6. Mine stay about 3.5, and it's supposed that all of them be at 3.5. Through the discharging process, they might drop to about 2.7. I would say that would be the maximum, depending of the BMS that you have. But typically, that's maximum is about 3.5, minimum about 2.7. It might cut a little bit higher, 2.8, 2.9, just to just to protect the cells, to ensure longevity. So we want our battery pack to last many years of services. Now, how the BMS work? As you can see, the BMS has a P negative and a B negative, meaning the B negative is a blue cable goes right into the most negative of your battery pack, and the P negative, that's the negative for like for chargers or for your inverter. That's where it connect. And now the red is the most positive of the battery bank. So that's more or less kind of a short story about what a BMS will do for you. But it definitely you have to have it. If people don't put a BMS and start to mess around with these batteries, sooner or later they will damage the batteries because they overcharge it. And when one of these batteries get overcharged, they start to leak. They has a seal at the top of them. At the top of it, there's a seal, and when you overcharge, they start to leak stuff through there, and that meaning that you definitely are damaging the cells. So always have a good BMS around to avoid that kind of things. So this video is to show you how you mess with this spaghetti cable, how you get it right, so that the BMS will do what it's supposed to do. Here you can see the blue cable going through. I have to make a little bit longer because of my construction. As you can see, this is the most negative pole of my battery. So it goes like this, make a U-turn here, go up again, and this one end up being the most positive of my terminals. So, and here you can see that the black one is going right through a shunt resistor for the inverter or the charger. And these two alligator connector here are for several meters that I have to check how well the battery are being charged or discharged. Right now, the battery is showing 55.8 volts, about 56, and it's a very sunny day, and that's because this guy cut off the charging process. Typically, it cut off at 55, but that's perfect. I mean, I've been monitoring this for several weeks, and it's always about 55.7, 55.8. The cutoff and doesn't allow to charge anymore, but the batteries are in good shape. Um, Now, through the discharging process, they will discharge about 70 amp hours. These batteries are about 100 amp hours, so I take about 70 amp hour when there's no sun. That means about 5 p.m. to about 6, 7 a.m., 7 a.m. in the morning. So that's when the charging process start again, and that's how this work. I have this extra 48-volt charger here, electrical charger, just in case I need it. So far, I haven't required any of that extra help. So In the next time, I will be adding a second battery bank like this one. This is a 5 kilowatt hour bank, so I might add another one to have about 10, and that definitely will do the whole trick. But again, this video is about how to make this cable properly, so there's no failure or there's no mistake. I mean, believe me, you cannot screw here. This has to be done right the first time, okay? In fact, when you connect things around, you better have kind of a disconnectors because the electrical spark is huge. I mean, if you coming from, let's say, from lead acid batteries, and you know that that's bad when you know, in fact, when you connect the charger, there's a spark. You don't want that type of spark in any of these bolts. That will destroy the bolts. So even it is correct to have the spark, but you don't want it. So you definitely want to avoid sparks at all cost, okay? So have these connectors just to ensure that you don't have spark at all. All right, so this video is all about making the cable right. Let's take a look. We're gonna work on the cable. I'm having a little bit problem here adjusting the camera. So as you can see, I put the first terminal to this cable. It's a different color. This one is kind of a blue to identify the black cable, meaning the ground. And cable number 1 will be this one, and we will put hold for 1 second here until I get my box of goodies here. This cable, then we're gonna have a red terminal, and so this is the idea. Let's see. We're gonna cut about, gonna peel this cable about 1/2 inch like that or so. We're gonna bend it a little bit and then try to get it stuck right there with my pliers. There we go. Let's see if I can. Alright, with this here, we're gonna get this right there and see how well we can do this. Alright, so first thing, let's get this cable peel off and let's see how we do that. Maybe you can focus right there. Pretty much the measurement will be up to here for the 1/2 inch. Get that there and then squeeze it a little bit, twist it and pull, and that's it. Now the next part is bend this and now insert it right here until, let's see, hold for 1 second. Until I see it coming the other way. Let's see. I'm pushing. Maybe you want to focus right there so you can see the end of the cable coming out. And that's basically where you want it. And there, what we're gonna do now is get your pliers and accommodate and ensure that while you are putting pressure in the plier, the cable stay where you want it as you do that. You can see the cable coming in and out. Just stick it a little bit out, just a little bit, and then start to make pressure on it until it squish. Now you check again. Get both hands. Just in case, and do now a check, do a pull, and that cable is ready. See? That's as easy as I can get. Now you cannot try never to cut this cable any shorter than what they are already, because that will change the resistance value, and the BMS will have perhaps a problem reading the proper voltage of that cell. Now going back here, that was cable number. You want to focus out, so you get this spaghetti cable. Let's see how this looks like. Good. So that was one. Look good, look good. Now we're gonna go to cable number 3. That's not a big deal. You can go any order what you want, but what you want to do, you want to take your time and do this properly. So remember, set this where you want it. It's right at this distance. It was measured as a ½ inch, and this cable filler is for thicker cable, so you want to do this as gentle as you can. And now you go here, check again that everything looks good, put a little bit of pressure here, and when it peels, it do a good job without ripping the cable apart or doing anything weird. So now you pull until the cable is out, and now you bend the cable. See, just to make it a little bit thicker for the terminal that I'm using, which this hole seems to be about 1/8 of an inch or even thinner than that. Then you want to put this in until you see it at the other side. See, almost sticking out. And get your pliers, put it right there, move the base until you start, get comfortable that it's right in position. And now the important part is you can see the cable going in and out, and just leave it right there. Let's see how well I'm focusing this. See, pulling good. And now we start to squeeze very gentle until the cable doesn't move anymore. Now you give it a good pull. You want to pull back the camera so that you can see both of my hands. We want to move it back. There we go. You can see one hand. I squeeze both hands just so I give it enough to ensure good pressure on it, and then move out and check my job. You want it now focus back to see how this looks like. It's kind of, let's see, let me check myself with my naked eye. Yep, perfect. Now go to another one. We'll go to cable number 4. I want to do this again as gentle as you don't want to rush this. So, get proper measurement where you want the cable. Pull here, push a little bit the cutter and gentle strip it. And now you twist and pull. Ensure that there we go. We bend again the cable so that we make the cable kind of thicker when we do that. And we try to squeeze the tip to make it thin, very thin. And let's see, maybe you want to focus this more so people know what I'm doing. See? Alright, so now what we're going to do is put the terminal This terminal are red, meaning that they all will go to the positive terminal on your battery. And now, again, we do the same trick. Ensure that we can see the cable sticking out. This is a 9 pliers to do this because it really makes the job easier. Accommodate. Now, I'm accommodating this just to ensure. Now, let's see. I'm going to look through my naked eye just to ensure that I'm in the right place. Now with the camera, just so that you want to focus, you can see, whoops, that was too much. Put it back so we can focus better. There we are. Let's see. Good. Almost done there. I want to squeeze this a little bit. There we go. Now let's see. Look good. Now squeeze until the cable is really. Now you want to pull back. The other side, the other way along. You want to pull back the camera. Yeah. So with one hand, put second hand just to do it harder and pull. Excellent. Now we're gonna do the same with this one. Again, you want to be sure that you don't cut more than when you have to. Check again. Push this and squeeze. You're done. Squeeze a little bit. Pull until you peel the cable. You know, you want to do the pulling slowly so you don't rip the cable apart. And bend it. Make it thicker. So easy for the terminal to tie in. Now get the other red ones. Again, get it in until you see at the other side. Excellent. That's where you want to go with your. I think this plier will do as well, but I would not recommend it because it's too thin, and I like this better. This is better. See, it is this part that kind of squeeze the terminal is larger, have a larger area, so it is a lot easier really to squeeze that end. Now check, the part that squeeze the cable is in one side of the plier, not on the other. So meaning this is the way I put these right there, and I can, you know, mess a little bit with the terminal just to get it in the right position. Kind of a, I would say, I don't know whether to say 90 degrees, but anyway, you see, now I start to pull the cable a little bit so I can see the tip of it, and then start to squeeze until it is right where I want it, and then use both hands and check the work, that it looks good. Do a little pull, check again. Yeah, good. Now let's move to another one. This cable, I don't know whether you can increase the tip of it. Has a little bit of soldering on it, which is good. Okay. Now put it back again on your cable cutter and do the measurement that you need. Get the cable right at the position where you want it for the 1/2 inch, and then squeeze it. And there we go. Now, twist it and easily, very slowly start to pull until the cover is out. Do it again, bending at the half of the whatever you peel off, and squeeze the tip so it's easy to go through the terminal. And get into the terminal. Now this is what I mean. You want this side flush or sitting nicely in your plier. That's what I mean by the 90 degrees, so that it sit flush. Now let me get this in. Having a little trouble here. Maybe you want to get out of mine to get better lighting. Let's see what's the problem here. If this might be a little bit thick. Let's see now. There we go. Perfect. Now, remember what I told you? Get this sit properly on your pliers, and so this sit, and you can see it. Let's see now. It's almost where I want it. And now I see the cable, the tip of it. I don't know whether the camera is focusing on what it shows. Let's see. You can see the tip in and out. I think that's where I want it. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. Now let's do harder. Put some pressure. Get both hands just to sure it is where it's supposed to. I check. Now let's check this out. I might go again, do a little bit squeeze with another plier, just because I know one side really did the job. The other one, I can see that it's requiring a little bit more perhaps, but it is perfect. I mean, this is not to pull anything heavy. It's just to have a good contact between the cable and the terminal. But this looks good. I know some folks like to put a little bit of soldering right here. I might do that as well, but not now. So let's keep going. Let's see where we are. Again, get out of the light. Get this where I want it. You see how this works? It's a kind of the grabber, and the knife is right at this part. So the idea is measure the length of cable that you want, and then squeeze and pull. Then we do this, we keep doing this until we get that peel off, and now we bend it so that we got a thicker cable, and the idea is that the length of all cable with the terminal are equal, so you don't want to end up with a cable longer than another. Now let's squeeze the tip. I don't know whether the camera is focusing on this job right at the end. See, it's a little bit too thick, perhaps for the terminal. We'll see if I can get in. Okay, perfect. Did it. Good enough. Now, get the plier. Let's have it properly set. Getting out of the light, move it a little bit further out, and that's perfect. Now give it a squeeze until the cable stay where it's supposed to stay. Now use both hands. Good enough. Pull. Excellent. Excellent. Now let's go to the other one. So you want to do this gentle. You don't want This is a delicate job. You know, you want to do it right. You don't want that the cable by any means get messed up. Good. So I'm pulling this. And now I bend this. Let's see. There's a little bit of noise on my jack. It's just that it's very hot. If I shut off that fan, this is gonna get crazy down here. It's very soggy. So I'm gonna get a terminal here. So maybe I'm fighting against the noise, but there we go. The terminal is right where it's supposed to be. Good. Now what I need to do is get my plier, get it right, you know, sitting properly within the plier. And now take a look, ensure that I got a good hand, and ensure when you squeeze, the cable is almost sticking out. You know, there we go, that's perfect. And that's where you want to squeeze the process. Get both hands, put a good squeeze of the plier, and you're done. Good, we are almost done here. Not sure that if the camera have enough batteries to, you know, to have to record all of me doing this, but if not, never mind. Again, let me get out of the way of the camera so that the light look good, so that we are supposed to squeeze it. There we go. Now squeeze, 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 and pull. Squeeze and pull. That's it. Bend it, make the cable thicker a little bit, and then get another terminal. I hope I don't run out of terminal. I think we're okay. It's right where we want it. Now, pliers. Let's see, you can focus on me doing this part here. Now, the cable is where I want it, but not the, I don't feel that the terminal is where I want it with respect to the pliers. So now, again, let me get this with my naked eye. Okay, good. So, you look good. Start to squeeze. Now, focus on that. You want to see the tip. You see when I'm moving the tip in and out, and start to put some pressure until I start to see that the cable is not want to move, and then that's when I apply the full my hand pressure on it. Both hands. Excellent squeeze. I like this one. Somehow I got the hang of doing this right. That's perfect. Now, got about 6 to go. Let's see how the camera looks like. I think that I have enough battery to do this in one shot. We'll see. Now let's there. Good. Squeeze in here. There we go. Now pull. Twist a little bit and pull. Twist and pull. Gentle. You don't want to let the cable snap at you, so I'm going to do this as gentle as possible. And now we look perfect. There we go. Get a terminal. I got all the stuff here, you see. Got the bus bar and what is called pressure washers. I got this from a friend. A friend handled this to me because my kid didn't have this pressure washer. And believe me, they make a big difference when you install this. And you will see, he also handled me this copper bus bar, because there's one point in my kit that I will have to use this one, and you will see why. These are kind of short tools. See, these are too short. They will work for the the connection, but when I get to the U-turn, you will need this one are kind of longer, and this will make it fit. They're thin, so that's what I'm going to be using, 2 of those. Alright, now going back here, I'm out of the light again, just so you see what I'm doing. That was perfect. Now again, get your plier, accommodate the terminal properly within the pliers, so that doesn't look like it's gonna come out. That will do. Now maybe you want to focus back there where the tip of the cable is coming in and out, just to ensure I start to put some pressure on the pliers, and more pressure, more. There we go. Now end up with both hands, final squish, and that's it. Oh, perfect. That was perfect. Now one more. Wow, 16s. Remember, we have to do all this, and so I'm about, let's see, getting myself out of the light so I can see good lighting. Remember, ½ inch. You don't want to steal anything more than ½ inch. Push here to ensure that the cutter do his job. That's the idea. And this type of cutter is great for cable, I don't know, 12, cable 12, gauge 12, 10, maybe 8, I don't know, 6, maybe too thick for it. But cable 14, gauge 16, it looks perfect. This cable, I think, I don't know, the gauge of this cable is very, very thin. Gauge 24 maybe, I don't know. I will have to check if the cable has any identification, but it looks thinner than a cable 22 that I'm used to use a lot for Arduino project. This cable looks very thin. Again, twist a little bit and then pull until you get the cable peel off, and we bend, and then we add the terminal. Again, there we go. We do this, and we sit our guy right at the plier, and that doesn't, sometimes it's better to look with the naked eye. The camera might give you a sense of a bad measurement, so I want to be sure that the cable is, there we go, the terminal is gotta be right there, flush pretty much with the plier, the terminal, and then the cable is right there. I don't know whether the camera is picking all this. You see, I'm pulling in and out to ensure that it's where it's supposed to be. Now I start to squeeze until I feel like the cable is not moving any longer. So then put the full pressure with one hand, with the other one, squeeze a little bit more. Let's see if the hand is good. See? It's not that you need both hands. I mean, it's just more like a psychological issue. You want to be sure that that cable was never snapped from there. Excellent. All right. So let's see where we are. I think that I did one in advance than another one. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I got very little already. There's few to go. 3, 5. This one already has the terminal. So, this is pretty much done. Again, I'm taking it out of the line. Ensure the cable is at the right point. About ½ inch. Squeeze here, the cutter, so that the camera is picking this I think so, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm pushing hard here. Well, actually, not hard. I'm just pushing just to ensure that when I pull the plier, the cutter, it does the job. So it did not miss the cutting process, because sometimes it will mask it, and that's not good. Good. So we close this, we bend this. I try to bend it at basically half the distance. So we are almost done. Let's see. There we go. All right. So let's get the plier again. I like these pliers. They're great. Nice. All right. So here we are. Let's put these so it's right aligned with your plier. The terminal is well aligned and it's right there at the tip. And now, again, you you ensure that the cable is where it's supposed to be and doesn't pull the cable out in the squeezing process. There we go. Now, put both hand. Excellent. We're gonna pause here for a second. All right, we pause it for a little while until we figure out what to do next. And basically, we're gonna complete this. And so, let me do this again. Half of an inch. Squeeze it. Bend it. And get a terminal. Get the pliers. Now, ensure that the terminal is right where you want it, flush with the plier. And now I don't see the cable, now I see it. See? So you want to be sure that you see the end of that cable while you squeeze the plier. Excellent. Now put a lot of pressure on it. One hand, use both hands. Double a little. That will do. Now pull. Good. You're almost done. Again, half an inch. There you go. Push it. Oops, that was bad. See? Miss it. That is not good. Going back here. Sure that I don't miss it anymore, because that would not be good. So, there we go. Excellent. A scratch on that one. Not good. Bending the cable. There we go. Get a terminal. There we go. Get the pliers. Accommodate the terminal where it's supposed to. Oops, the cable is gone. I have to fix that in a second. There we go. Get the cable back where we're supposed to. Oops, I see a problem here. Trying to ensure that all cables stay together. Ensure that the terminal is where it's supposed to. There we go. See? It's taking both sides of the terminal. Now I'm going to squeeze the cable in. Now look, the terminal gotta go move a little bit more. Let's see. Yeah, that's where it's supposed to be. See the cable sticking in and out. Now it's the time to put some pressure. There we go. More pressure. Excellent. We're done. 3 more cables and we're done here. Let's see. That looks like 3 more cables to go. And again, sure that whatever happened before will not happen again. Put some pressure. There we go. That's why I want to put some pressure here to ensure that the cutter meet the grabber part, so they do the job of peeling the cable, doing it right. So now it's a matter of bending the cable. Yeah, you know what? This is interesting. Here we go. There we go. Bend the cable again. Get the terminal. Yeah, almost done. 2 more to go. Actually, this sometimes seems like it's easier to get the terminal right where you want it. Don't squeeze the plier yet. Get your terminal right where you want it. I don't know whether the camera. You see, you want to ensure that each, where the 2 metal part meets, that's where you want to ensure that plier take both of them kind of simultaneously and squish them. And yep, that will do. Now push the cable through. And now we again, let's see where we are here. You can see the cable coming in and out. Push, pull, put some pressure. Both hand. Excellent. Now where you can focus on that. You see how well the job it did, right what it's supposed to be. Good. Now I got 2 more to go and we're done. Let me get out of the light here. It's kind of sometimes it's hard to do recording of these kind of things because you are in the middle of everything that you want to record. So let's see. Here we go. Perfect. There we go. Bend it. Excellent. Now, get the other terminal. Let's do first this part because we are about a baby step to finish all this. Okay. Now, here's the trick. You want to ensure that when you put these, I don't know whether it is well aligned with where both metal meet right there when you squeeze them. That will do. Now ensure that they are right there. See? That will do. Now get the cable in position. If I find right here. Yeah. See? It's almost there. Now start to squeeze so that you can see that the cable will not try to move anymore because it's getting where you want it. Now put some pressure on it. See? Now take a look at it. Both sides got bended and this will not go anywhere. Wow! One more and we're done. So This is the last one. Open it. Yeah. And then let's see, half an inch right there. Push this so that you peel off and twist it, bend it about half of it to make the cable a little bit thicker, easy to tie it up. Give the terminal. Now get the terminal in position. Perfect. That's what I wanted. Last cable in. Now check the end. That looks where it's supposed to be. Squeeze. Start to squeeze. Ooh, there we do. That will do. Squeeze it. Check. See? Perfect. Let's see where we are now. We have all our cable with terminals. It looks like, yep. Let's see. Yep, all has the terminal properly installed. Now, the only thing left is to ensure that I identify cable 1, 2, 3 with a little, scotch tape or something where you write a number with a little piece of paper and get your terminal, properly identified with a proper label, because eventually it's gonna get harder to find out what's going on. One thing that you can definitely check before anything is that you can either through this side and using this meter, you can check whether you did a proper job on what I call a continuity test. Basically, let's see. Let me see. Select. There we go. That's a continuity test. Maybe you hear it. Just to ensure that when you check this back there, let me get a cable for 1 second here. I think these cables are for Arduino, and basically let's see if it's thin enough to get in. Maybe you can touch through this side. Let's see, because these are too thick. Maybe, let's see, maybe this, I don't know. Let's see if I can touch the black one. Yep. You see? Check the numbers. Open loop. Now I close. Perfect. Meaning that this terminal is good. So what I will do is go through all of them to ensure that they are connected properly, and which I think it is. It's just, you want to be sure that this, when you do this cable, you do it right, so that it's no hiccup or anything that might damage your BMS when you start. With that said, we're gonna pause here just to get my battery pack together, and we'll take it from there. All right, I've been in the last hour. I've been, checking the cable, ensure that they look good. Now I decide to put also labels. This is cable number 10, this terminal. So I'm about the last one here. cable number 16, and so this one doesn't have the label. And as I was doing the checking that the cable was right, it's interesting, but I found that this one was not good, so I fixed it again. I used a different terminal like shown here, but now it's okay. So it's always good, you know, to give a good pull to ensure that the cable is properly set where it's supposed to be. Let's see, you can see that. Yeah, that will do. There now. Alright, so I went back to when I finished the installation of the terminals and put some labels on the cables just to ensure that I know what I'm working with, because sometimes it's kind of hard when you finish the construction of the cable. Then you want to be sure that you are pulling the right cable at the right position. So it's better to have some label on it. Make a lot of sense. I just have one left that I don't have any label on it. And let's check what is this. Let's see if I can pull the camera back. That will do. And I know that it's position 16, but you can see how messy it gets. There we are. Let's see. See, it's the last cable that is missing the label. So, checking something. Sometimes I found that some of these are kind of out, you know, that it's not bended properly. It bent one fine, but the other one was kind of sticking up. I went back again and rechecked them just to ensure that they look like this now. See, no issue there. They look good. So double check on that. Now let's put the label. I put labels in all of them except the ground. Obviously, it's black, no big deal. But all the others, which are red, definitely need some labels. So it's easy to do these labels. Let's see. That's number 15. You can, it's hard. With the camera, it's hard to see it. See? 15. Sometimes this label you can make it like a flag. I don't like the flag style. I like this better. This. So let me show you how quickly I do that. You only need, let's see. I only need a piece of paper. You can get any piece of paper. You know, cut it in such a way that is about 1/4. You see? So about 1/4 and then 1/4, and that will do. And so let's see, right now, get that, write the number. Right now it is number 16. I don't know whether the camera is picking all this, so let's see. It's not a big deal, I just want to show you how small it is. And it's about 1/4 by 1/4, and that number is 16. So, and this is the idea. The idea is get some, whatever you have of this type of masking tape, and cut about 2 inches in length, and then that's it. Now start to connect that there. So let me pull the camera back, see whether. So the idea is you roll about 1 inch into it. I'm rolling and let it go time to time just to relieve the stress on the cable. Start to roll again until about a good inch of of tape has been rolled into it. Now the only thing that I need is to ensure that I put this right the label. I don't have a very nice pliers to do this kind of but whoops, sorry for that. Got it from grease here, my jack. So I don't like to use my fingers to do this part. So now you see the sticky part of the tape is on this side, so you want to put this obviously not like this because you will not see the number, but like this, and you want to put it in such a way about half of the distance pretty much, and then you might use your finger. Oops, I'll be sure that I can do this right. There we go, more or less. So it's there, and then you see it on the other side, and I keep rolling. You could do the flag style, but I like this better. It's a little bit of an issue here. There we go. Keep rolling until the other and then try to flat the part where the 16 is, so it makes life easier when I want to see what is the number of the cable. So let's see how well that looks like. You can see the 1 and the 6, and that will stay there for a while. I mean, but it shouldn't come out. This cable, yeah, it was fixed, no problem there. So that's it. Now you have cables properly labeled, everything looked good. The idea is when I finally connect everything to the lithium-iron-phosphate cell, I should be with a voltmeter checking the voltage until I get to about 51 or so, you know. So we are ready. Let's assemble my battery pack and let's see what it looks like.